The 21st century is obsessed with dopamine. Everywhere you look, in pop psychology, on podcasts, and viral YouTube shorts, dopamine is called the molecule of pleasure, the molecule of motivation, the molecule of happiness. We are told that everything we do, from scrolling on TikTok to falling in love, is powered by dopamine. And because of this, we are also told that the secret to happiness is to hack our dopamine, to manipulate it, to increase it, to balance it. But what if this is the wrong story? What if dopamine is not the molecule we're searching for? What if the true key lies in something else? A quieter, older, deeper system in the brain, the oxytocin system. Dopamine is real. It matters. It drives our seeking, our wanting, our motivation. But dopamine does not give us what we crave most. Dopamine excites us, but it never fulfills us. It is the neurotransmitter of pursuit, not of peace. And that is why, no matter how much dopamine you release, the cycle never ends. Oxytocin, on the other hand, is different. Oxytocin does not shout like dopamine. It whispers. It is not about the high of the chase. It is about the warmth of connection. It regulates how we detect and respond to social cues. It reinforces bonds between parent and child, between lovers, between friends. It calms the body after stress. It makes the company of others feel rewarding. And when we combine this neuroscience with philosophy, an old voice returns with surprising clarity. Arthur Schopenhauer. Part 1. The Pendulum of Pain and Boredom. Schopenhauer, in The World as Will and Representation, said that human life swings like a pendulum, between pain and boredom. When we lack what we want, we suffer. When we get what we want, we soon grow tired, empty, and restless. Pain and boredom. These, he says, are the two poles of human existence. And what did humanity do to escape this unbearable cycle? We created society. We invented rituals, entertainment, art, politics, and religion. All of them, in Schopenhauer's eyes, were desperate ways to escape boredom, that suffocating silence that follows once pain is absent. Now pause here and compare this with neuroscience. Dopamine is the molecule of the chase. It fuels desire. It pushes us forward. But once the desire is satisfied, dopamine falls, and boredom returns. No matter how high the dopamine spike, it always crashes into the same emptiness. Oxytocin, however, offers another path. Instead of pushing us outward in restless pursuit, it roots us inward in connection. It makes us find joy in presence, in companionship, in simple togetherness. If dopamine is the pendulum itself, oxytocin is what steadies it, what softens its swing. Part 2. Dopamine and the hedonistic trap. Look at the modern hedonistic world. We are dopamine junkies. Social media platforms are designed as slot machines, engineered to release dopamine hits with every like, every scroll, every new video. Consumer culture trains us to believe that the next purchase, the next upgrade, the next notification will finally make us happy. And for a moment it works. We feel excitement. We feel anticipation. But then it fades, and boredom creeps back in. Exactly as Schopenhauer predicted. Life oscillates between craving and emptiness. The problem is not dopamine itself. Dopamine is not evil. It is essential for survival. But dopamine alone cannot give us meaning. It cannot protect us from the void of boredom. And the modern world has mistaken dopamine spikes for real fulfillment. This is why we are anxious, why we are restless, why entire societies feel numb even when flooded with pleasures. Because we are chasing the wrong molecule. The article from Nature Reviews Neuroscience makes it clear. Oxytocin is not a secondary player. It is central to how mammals, including humans, process social cues, regulate interactions, and experience reward. Oxytocin neurons in the hypothalamus project into brain regions like the ventral tegmental area and the nucleus accumbens, the same reward circuits we normally associate with dopamine. But here's the twist. Oxytocin modulates those dopamine neurons. It shapes how social interactions feel rewarding. It increases the salience of another person's face, voice, or touch. This means that oxytocin is not about seeking in the abstract. It is about reinforcing connection. It makes the smile of a friend feel brighter than a screen. It makes the touch of a partner carry more meaning than 1,000 likes. It is the neurochemical foundation of belonging. And belonging, Schopenhauer would say, is the only escape humanity has found from boredom. We gather in groups not only to fight pain, but to share our time so that time itself feels lighter. Society is the collective invention against tedium. And oxytocin is the biological glue that holds it together. Modern neuroscience also shows that oxytocin buffers the pain of social stress. Social isolation reduces oxytocin activity and leads to maladaptations. Restoring oxytocin restores sociability. This is not abstract philosophy, it is biology. Schopenhauer saw isolation as unbearable boredom. Neuroscience sees isolation as oxytocin deficiency. The two insights converge. What philosophers called the misery of solitude, science calls the collapse of the oxytocin system. And here is the irony. In our dopamine-driven culture, we are more connected digitally than ever, yet more oxytocin-starved than ever. Likes do not release oxytocin. Endless scrolling does not reinforce bonding. We drown in stimulation but die of loneliness. So what does it mean to say, dopamine is not the molecule you're searching for? It means that chasing pleasure, chasing novelty, chasing stimulation will never end the pendulum. It means that the modern obsession with dopamine detoxes and dopamine hacks is a misunderstanding. What we need is not more dopamine. What we need is oxytocin. We need rituals of trust. We need spaces of presence. We need relationships that reinforce our sense of belonging. When you sit with a friend and share silence, that is oxytocin. When you hold a child and feel peace, that is oxytocin. When you choose to be present with someone instead of distracted by 10 screens, that is oxytocin. This is the molecule that softens boredom. Not by eliminating it, but by transforming it into togetherness. Schopenhauer taught that suffering is essential to life. We cannot escape it. The pendulum will always swing. But he also saw that boredom is equally unbearable, and that humans created society to escape it. Now neuroscience gives his insight a molecular foundation. Oxytocin is the biological weapon against boredom. It is the reason why society itself exists. It is why we gather, why we care, why we build rituals, why we endure. Without oxytocin, there is no buffer against the emptiness of time. So if you are searching for happiness, stop worshiping dopamine. Dopamine will keep you chasing, but it will never let you arrive. Instead, cultivate oxytocin. Cultivate presence, connection, trust. These are not as flashy as dopamine highs, but they are what truly sustain life. The secret is not pleasure. The secret is connection. And that is something both Schopenhauer and neuroscience can agree on. Dopamine will always keep you running. Oxytocin will finally let you stay. And in staying, in belonging, you may find the only cure for boredom that human life has ever known.